Hey everybody, it's Matt from the house, and in this video we're going to show you a few of our favorite boots for the 21-22 season. Let's check these out. First up, we've got the Ride Anthem. This boot is insane. This has been in Ride's lineup for a long time. It is one of the lightest boots you'll ever feel. Super, super cool design. This is the single boa version. They do actually make a Anthem Pro, which is a souped up version of this boot as well. But great for those beginner to intermediate style riders. We've got the Intuition liner, so fully customizable. Some of the most heat moldable boots, so you can literally take them to your shop. They'll heat them up. You pop your foot in there and they mold perfectly to your foot. Nice soft cuff on the inside and the articulated cuff on the side here too, so when your boot flexes forward, we're not getting any shell distortion. When this is all one piece and you flex forward, it actually can cause the boot to gap a little bit in that heel area where you want your ankle held down the most. But again, beginner to intermediate style riders who just want a crazy lightweight boot, this one's really kind of hard to beat when it comes to a boa boot at this price. All right, next up we've got the 32 Lashed. This has been 32's best-selling boot and one of the best-selling boots in the world for a long time. It does come in a double boa version as well, but the lace version is definitely one of my favorites. Super lightweight. We've actually got a mostly foam sole on this thing with a little bit of rubber for the grip where you need it. The reason it got its name, the Lash, is because of these side panels. That's what makes this boot so important. So these side panels are actually attached here and here. They're actually not attached to the boot way up here. And the cool thing about that is the laces go right through those panels. As you lace this boot up and you really pull them, those panels can actually stretch a little bit and get a little tighter to your foot and actually lash your foot into the boot. Get it? So the Lash, you got that standard lace system. We also have that piece at the heel and the upper. So we've got those three main lacing zones. You can fully customize how this thing fits and feels and how tight it is in the certain areas of your foot. And then 32's always done the Intuition liners, which are some of the most heat moldable liners in the world. Great mid-range, all mountain, go anywhere, do anything boot. All right, next up we've got the DC laced boot. So pretty cool boot. They wanted to go back, they do a lot of boa boots, and they wanted to do a traditional lace boot that was a little bit higher end. They've got DC has a couple boots in the Faves and the Mutiny that are traditional lace that are a little less expensive, but they wanted to have something that had a little bit more performance because there was a demand for those higher end riders that want a better performing boot that still has the traditional lace. The nice thing about the traditional lacing is that you can customize how your boot fits. You can make it feel a little softer up top, leave the ankle tight, softer down here. You can go tight, loose. You can basically kind of make it feel exactly the way you want it to feel. You always want that heel held in. That's the most important thing. Fully heat moldable liners on this thing. We've also got the grid system on the inside, which actually helps keep your feet warmer. You'll see this in some first layer and stuff where that grid actually helps store your body heat and give it back to you when you need it. Also, we've got the Vibram outsole on this thing too, and Vibram soles are pretty cool. It's a rubber compound where you actually get lightweight, flexibility, and durability, and grip. Everything that you want in a snowboard boot sole. All right, next up we've got the Photon from Burton. So this boot actually, as soon as it hit, it was one of the most popular boots in their lineup. It was one of the first boots to go to the step-on lineup. And then they're also making a version of it too that is not boa. So we actually have a dual boa version in the Photon Boa. And then we also have the Speed Zone version too in the standard Photon. Both versions, you're getting that dual lacing zone. So you got upper and lower, but a little bit of a new shape to the boot this year. They've kind of slimmed it up a little bit in here so the toe isn't quite as wide. We've got an all new outsole on this thing, a Vibram outsole with these new lugs that actually have an extra grip on the inside of them to give you a little bit more when you're hiking around, hiking the pipe, or just walking around in the snow, just give you that extra grip. And then we've also done a whole new panel on the side here as well. They got these new panels on the outside and on the inside, and those are basically there to alleviate if you have any pressure from your straps pushing on the side of your foot. Not that we all have that, but if you do, it helps alleviate that. And then the really cool thing about this one is that on the boa version, we actually have this piece on the side here, which actually goes, the lacing actually goes through these two tabs. And then when you crank these things down and pull them tight, it actually helps pinch around your heel and really lock your heel in. But again, more for that intermediate to advanced rider who wants just one boot that can absolutely do everything. All right, one of my favorite boots this year. This thing just looks amazing. So this is the Vans High Standard OG. And this boot they've had for a long, long time. It just gets better and better every single year. Little tweaks here and there, you know, nicer liners, a little bit warmer pieces, better fit systems, nice soft cuff. This colorway though is actually a pretty cool one because this is a collaboration they did with Public. Daryl Mathis, who is from Public Snowboards, he actually has been riding for Vans for a while, and they wanted to do kind of a cool little series. So they did this custom color up on the boot, and you can actually see through the sole there. It actually has a graphic on there, custom hits on it. Nothing that makes the boot ride better, but definitely is a really cool colorway. It does come in a few other colorways as well if you don't like the white Public. But one of the really cool things about this boot that I like is actually this heel lockdown system on the side. Pretty cool. So we've got a standard lace boot, which is nice because you can actually custom lace your boot, make it fit exactly the way you want it to, but you always want the middle part of that boot, right where your ankle is and right where your heel is, you want that to be tight to help lock and hold your heel in. And by having this lace actually go through this panel, when you actually pull on this, again, you can stretch that around and wrap your foot in and really lock your foot in. So it actually gives you a little bit tighter heel hold on the boot without having to add a bunch of extra stuff. We still have the internal lacing system. We still got that pop cush liner and all those key features on the inside. But again, a medium flexing boot, something for somebody that probably rides park or just cruises a little bit more all mountain. If you're a free ride, you might want to go with something a little bit stiffer. But for your general rider who just likes to ride the entire mountain, this thing can't be beat. All right, well, thanks for checking out just a few of our favorite boots for the 21-22 season. Obviously, if we shot all of our favorite boots, this video would probably be 10 hours long. But if you got any questions beyond what we talked about in the video or about any of the boots that we have at thehouse.com, leave some comments down below. We're on there every single day trying to answer your questions. We want to make sure we get you some rad gear, but most importantly, we want to make sure that it's actually going to fit you and your riding style. Also, make sure to like, subscribe, definitely get that bell on, and find out when all the new videos drop. And no matter what kind of riding you're doing, you want a little bit softer, easier boot, or you want a little bit stiffer, quicker riding boot, grab yourself a pair of boots and get out and ride. Because any day of riding is a good day of riding.